Actress Halle Berry and Top Chef host Padma Lakshmi are both new mothers in the midst of contentious custody battles, each with an ex-boyfriend, which brings up the question, what custody rights does a father have, especially if he was never married to the mother of his child? Joining me now to discuss this are Erica Suda, Us Weekly staff writer, and Glenn Sachs, Executive Director of Fathers and Families. Okay, Erica, Halle's ex-boyfriend is fighting for joint custody of a 2-year-old daughter. Can you tell us what's going on exactly there?
Yeah, after dating 4 years, Halle and Gabriel broke up in April. And they had an amicable split at first. They were going to raise the baby together and share custody, but it's turned nasty.
Why did it turn nasty?
Well, it seems that Gabriel doesn't feel like he's getting enough time with the baby. He also doesn't feel like his parental rights are clearly stated. So that's what he's petitioning. He wants to be stated in documentation that he is Nala's father and that he does share custody with Halle.
Okay, this is a statement from Halle's rep. This is the other side of it. Halle has serious concerns for her daughter's well-being while in the care of her father for any extended period of time and is prepared to take all necessary steps to protect her. Okay, so meanwhile, Glenn, the other side of the story, you just heard that Halle's been accused of caring more about dating than parenting. How common is this where both parents start bad-mouthing the dad or each other to get the upper edge?
Well, it's very common, and usually it's counterproductive. And here you've got two people who are in the media. You know, a lot of people, they're under the illusion that you can use the media better than the media can use you. They use the media to try to get at each other, and in the end, they end up damaging each other, sullying each other's reputations. The key thing really here is this. Halle Berry says that there's something about this gentleman that makes him an unfit father or not safe for the kid, but we don't have any evidence. And until we see the evidence, we don't really know. Very common that false accusations are made in custody cases like this to drive fathers away. On the other hand, maybe Halle Berry is genuinely acting out of concern for the kid. We're really not going to know until we see the evidence.
Yeah, she is very concerned. In fact, she pulled out of a new movie called New Year's Eve. It's a comedy. She was already set to go film. She pulled it out so she could deal with this custody case. Now, she feels that in Gabriel's care, Nala is not in the safest of circumstances. Now, she hasn't expressed what those are, but that will probably come out in the court hearings that are going to follow.
I mean, it's possible that they're both making this stuff up.
It is.
Just to get custody, and that's not really fair to the child.
But in Hollywood, it's usually the bigger star that seems to have the upper hand, and Halle is the big star. And Gabriel is, you know, of course he's a successful model, but he's fighting for his parental rights, and Halle is fighting back.
It's kind of hard, Glenn, when you have people like this, Halle, who's on the road, and I don't know, what does he do, this guy?
He's a model.
He's a model.
Yes.
But he's not a model parent.
We don't know that.
Well, according to Halle.
But
Yeah.
It's interesting here, though, because, you know, he's saying that, look, her career is very demanding. She travels a lot. She's on the road. She's here. She's there. My career is more sedentary. I can care for the child easier. And now people are saying, oh, this is such an attack on Halle Berry. She's a career woman. This is sexist. That stuff's used against fathers all the time. Fathers' career is always used against them. And they're just going out and earning money, being the breadwinner for the family like they're supposed to, or they're you know, society wants them to. And it's used against them. This guy may very well have a legitimate case that he has more hands-on time, ability to give hands-on time to raising the child than she does.
That's that's not fair at all, because she travels with Nala, she takes her to set, she's always with that child.
She gave up the job.
She gave up the job to make sure that they settle this custody agreement. She actually is a very good mom, and a lot of her friends support her, and they say that I
didn't say she wasn't a good mom. I'm just saying that it's inherently an unstable situation for the child. Plus, the child's too. In a few years, the child's going to need to be in school somewhere.
That's true.
Well, and if Halle Berry's away a lot, you know, it might be better that the child is with the father. What would be ideal is if they both could live in the same city, and when Halle's away, the child will be with the father more, and then when Holly's back, the father will let the child be with Halle more. That would be ideal.
It's very hard on children. It's very hard on the child when both parents are working in different places. It's very unstable, let's face it.
It is, but a traveling clan works for the Jolie Pitts. Children are often homeschooled. They have traveling nannies and tutors. There is a way to make it work.
There is a way to make that work, but it sounds as though he wants more parenting involvement with it, and he's not getting it, and that's not really fair to him either.
No, it's not.
Okay, but we're going to continue this in just a minute because there's another case in the news, too, about this very thing. I'm back with my panel. We're talking about the parental rights of fathers. Now, let me talk to you, Erica. Top chef, Padma Lakshmi. She used to be married to Salman Rushdie for a while, right? And then she had a boyfriend, Adam Dell. And she's now with 71-year-old, she's a young woman. Yeah. She's with 71-year-old billionaire Ted Forsman. And Dell, the boyfriend who she had the baby with, now wants full custody of their little daughter, Krishna.
Right, that's right.
Okay. So tell me what happened there.
I mean, one thing, Padma has eclectic taste in men. I mean, she does not have a type. I mean, you know, so she's dated Adam Dell for...
well, they have a type. They all have money. That's the thing they have in common.
That's everyone's type. That is everyone's type.
Well, it's certainly Padma's.
All right. Well, she dated Adam Dell. It fizzled. After she got pregnant, it fizzled. And she even went out and called him, you know, unmemorable, unambitious. And this is what his court papers allege. And that she was hoping that the baby was the father of the baby was her new boyfriend, Ted. So he's fighting back. He's not. DNA test, it's Adam's baby.
It's Adam's baby.
And he's fighting back. He's asking for full custody and child support, reports say. Yeah, so he's asserting, you know, he's trying to get his parental rights back.
Yeah, go ahead, Glenn.
It's not exactly true. He filed for sole custody because under New York law, it's difficult to get shared custody. I won't bore you with the details, but he said publicly all he wants is joint custody. Okay, and that's one of the things in these celebrity custody battles. There's always this, you know, oh, it's a custody battle. Well, usually it's the mom who wants sole custody, the father who wants joint custody. There's a massive moral distinction between those two positions. One parent is saying, I want to share custody. The other one's saying, no, I only want it for myself. Yeah. He's also publicly said that he doesn't want child support. Yeah, he's had to file for these things because of the different vagaries of New York law, but he's publicly said that.
Well, does he want child support or doesn't he?
It's in the court. It's in the papers.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Glenn.
He's publicly said that he will not accept it. He wants his name on the birth certificate. It sounds to me like the mother here is doing what's called daddy shopping, right? She's now done with Adam. She's now moved on to a new guy. So now she's trying to get him established as the father. And the child may very well be calling that guy daddy. You see that a lot. You know, the mother will tell the child to call the real father by his first name and call the new stepdad or whatever daddy. It just sounds to me like he's... now, we don't know how much of all this is true, but if it's true, he's just trying to assert his rights to be a part of his kid's life.
He has a point. You know, it's like the guy, it is his kid.
It is his kid.
And didn't she name the kid Krishna, but what did she name the
middle name is Thea, which is a derivative of Ted.
The middle name was named
after Ted. Theodoro, Theodora?
Yeah,
I say.
For the new daddy.
Well, that's a slap.
It is a slap. It is a slap in the face. But, you know, Padma's moving on with her life. She's got a new man in her life, and she wants them to be a little family together. That doesn't mean that Adam can't be a part of Krishna's life. It just means they have to figure out this whole blended family thing and do a Demi-Bruce kind of situation.
It's a diss, as they kids say.
It is a diss.
To call the kid the name of the new father when the biological father is interested in the kid. That's kind of mean, I think.
It is mean, but hey,
slap.
it's done.
It's unnecessary and it's mean. And also, I mean, you know, Adam's name isn't even on the birth certificate. She gave the child her own last name, which, you know, is defensible, but it's still another indication that she's not really...
But that's very common. A lot of single mothers...
She's not even married to this Forsman guy.
But she's not married to either of them. It's fine for the kid to have her last name.
She's a free spirit, Padma? Is that what this is about?
She is. She's a free spirit.
I have news for her. If she likes men with money, she should marry them. Because that's where you really get the cash.
She's getting a lot of the perks either way, so I'm sure she's enjoying a fantastic lifestyle.
Glenn, before we go, what advice do you have for men who are watching in the custody battles? What advice do you give them?
Well, you know, it can be very difficult, particularly for unmarried fathers. And, you know, the great untold story in the United States is that so many of the fathers who we think have abandoned their children really have been pushed out of their children's lives. If you're a father in that situation, unfortunately, you're probably going to need an attorney. I don't say that with pleasure, but it's probably true. And you're probably going to have to fight so that your rights to your rights are very clearly spelled out, so your relationship with your child is protected over the next 18 years.
Alec Baldwin is a big proponent of, you know, custody rights and everything, and he's been through it too.
There are other examples in Hollywood of good dads. Kevin Federline, you know,
of course.
Steve Harvey's.
You know, Kevin Federline was crucified for years. You know, the talk show comedians, everybody. Turns out that he was the better parent. He was the parent of reason, and he was the parent who stepped up and raised those kids after Britney fell apart.
Okay, thanks, guys.
And a lot of times that's the case.
Thank you guys very much. It's interesting, you know, stuff.
My pleasure.
And thank you for watching. Good night, everybody.